Y'all, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by. So today I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about being prepared and what that means. I'm just going to try to give you some tips. Obviously, don't rely solely on me. You're going to want to do your own research and everything. But I did want to go ahead and just talk to you guys about a few things. There are a lot of things going on right now. There's been like storms. And the thing about these storms that are happening, these storms and like tornadoes and everything, just the like unpredictable weather, it's happening in places that normally don't have things happen is what I'm noticing. I'm not saying that everywhere. When it comes to tornadoes, I feel like there's only so much preparing that you can do when it comes to that, depending on like how quick the alarm sounds, what time of day it is. That's a lot of things to take into like consideration when it comes to whether you want to evacuate and if you're able to evacuate. Obviously, some things just happen at night and people have no warning or little to no warning. I will say if it's during the daytime though, depending on where you are, you may have a chance to get out. And what you need to do is make sure that you have a couple of bags for each family member. It's going to depend on the size of your family. Just make sure that you have bags that have basic information. You want to make sure those bags have like Social Security, birth certificate, marriage certificates, insurance paperwork for your home, insurance paperwork if you have renter's insurance, any kind of important documents. Make sure you have those and put them in a sealed bag, like a little Ziploc bag or some kind of storage container that is safe and you can just get to it and just, you know, haul tail if you need to. Want to make sure that you have at least a few days worth of food, water if you can do that as well. Also, number one important thing is cash. Make sure you have cash on hand, because a lot of times when storms happen, we know that all too well, power goes out, you lose power. That means the ATM machines aren't going to work. Debit card machines are going to be down at stores and everything. So you don't want to risk it. You don't want to be stuck, not able to get food or toiletries or anything that may come up that you need because you don't have anything other than a card or Apple Pay or something like that. Also, please make sure that you have a list of numbers that are written down. A lot of us rely on our cell phones and don't even know like your brother's or your sister or even your child's cell phone number. Make sure, I have drilled it in my kids' head, like y'all have got to learn phone numbers in case something happens. So one of my kids was recently had something happen and their phone died, but they were able to use somebody else's phone because they finally, after years, remembered our phone number. So I know you guys are like, what in the world? But like I said, with technology, while it's been helpful, it has also hurt us just with basic things, because back in the day we had to remember phone numbers. Now you just put somebody's phone number in your phone and that's it. So make sure you have important numbers that you have for relatives, friends, family, all of that. Make sure you have it written down. This can be your hard copy. That way you can refer to it. It should just be on a sheet of paper. You can refer to it in the case that, you know, there's something wrong with your phone or something, because there are just so many things that can happen and you don't want to have a way that you can't even get in contact with your family members. So I'm not asking you or telling you that you should remember like 50 phone numbers, but at least have it like, you know, jot it down somewhere on a piece of paper too, that you can just, you know, take it and go, put it in the box with important papers or something. Also, if you have a vehicle and you drive, please make sure that you keep your gas tank as close to full, if not on full as possible. I have a really bad habit of just letting my gas run lower than it should, and a lot of times it's just because I don't want to stop. My husband will sometimes go ahead on Sundays and do that for me. That way I'm taken care of for the week, but sometimes that just doesn't happen because we're busy, and I will just ride it out sometimes, and he gets on me just because it's bad for the car. It's terrible for your car because, you know, obviously when your car gets down low on fuel, you know, you get the sediments and whatever else is at the bottom of your gas tank. So that's not good for your vehicle anyways. So make sure that you're keeping, I would at least recommend a half a tank. That way, in case you need to go, you don't have to worry about gas, at least for a little bit. But I also want you to take into consideration, depending on where you live, if you have to take the highway, like a main interstate or something, if people are fleeing, 9 times out of 10, those roads are going to be jam-packed with people, and you don't want to risk sitting on the side of the road running out of gas. So make sure you at least keep like half a tank of gas in your car. Medications is another big one. If you or your family has medications that you have to take, make sure that you have extra of those. If you have kids, make sure you have medications for them. You know, any kind of allergy med, or, you know, if you're on prescription medications, make sure you have those. And especially if it's like a life-threatening like situation that you have, you want to make sure you have your meds and backup meds. If you have any kind of allergies or somebody that can go into anaphylactic shock, you want to make sure that you have your EpiPen as well. And I would probably try to have the medications written down, who takes them. You know, if there are prescriptions that have to be taken by family members and who's supposed to take them, I would probably jot that down just so you can have on record in case anything happens. And another thing I forgot to mention, if you are somebody that has like any kind of allergy, whether it's penicillin or if you are a diabetic, keep in mind that I do know back in the day they had like the little wristbands that you can wear that indicated like I have a penicillin allergy, or, you know, I'm a diabetic or something. That way, in case first responders have to rescue you or something happens, they are aware that, you know, this can be related or you're acting this way because of this. That's very helpful to first responders to have as much information as possible when trying to assist you. Something else to consider is you want to make sure, if at all possible, that you have an evacuation route that you have memorized or at least have traveled a couple of times in case anything happens. This ain't the time to figure out like, oh, which direction can I take? Can this road lead me to a shortcut? You want to have a route specifically for you. I would probably suggest having more than one way, just in case you run into issues when taking one route, you do have another route to rely on. So make sure you have routes to get in and out of your city and away from trouble or any kind of harm, and make sure you have more than one way. Something else that I think should be considered is if you have friends or family in your local area, I would probably consider having a designated meeting spot that you guys can meet up just to check in on each other and make sure that you guys are all safe. You know, a lot of times when there is a natural disaster, communication is down, there's like no cell phone towers that are working, or if they're working, it might be limited. And I feel like a lot of times that can add to, it could be an added stressor to an already chaotic situation. So just if you can have like a designated meeting area, maybe after a certain time period, we'll meet up here and just check in. I feel like that would be reassuring, especially like in a difficult situation. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I'm gonna keep this one short. I will be coming back with follow-up videos in regards to preparedness and just evacuations and just things that may be helpful to you, hopefully to you and your family members, y'all, especially coming up on hurricane season as well. So I will be addressing that and giving you guys hopefully helpful tips as well. I've been through a hurricane or two myself, just because I grew up at the beach, like on the coast of North Carolina, but I literally grew up at the beach 5 minutes from the shore. So take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.